Hello everybody, Cheaply Chic, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here to share a little project with you working in my smooth sailing journal once again. I decided after having so much fun creating a masterboard last month for the Plant Kindness collection, and I had a little bit of, a couple things I wasn't thrilled about, but I used them anyway. I wanted to do it again today. I also found that it was pretty inspiring to some of you, and I'm so grateful to those of you who tried this project out for yourself and posted about it in the Facebook group. Even I just love seeing that. I love knowing that these videos are worth doing and worth the time spent on them and that you're enjoying them. So thank you so very much. So like I said, I'm making a masterboard, and because I have so many manila folders, file folder type things in my craft room, I like to use them as my base. And I'm using the book pages that came in the kit, and I'm starting with those, and I'm just gluing them randomly onto the base of my file folder. Last month as well as this month, I'm using Mod Podge simply because it's what I have in my stash. I keep meaning to pick up some regular old school glue to give that a try, just because I never really have used school glue before in my crafting, in the crafting world. So I want to pick up some of that because I'm using the matte Mod Podge here, and anyone who's used that before, it's not really that matte. I'm also in Florida, so humidity is constant. So, it can get a little sticky, but that's all right. It's what I had on hand, so it's what I'm using. So here I'm just going around adding my papers. I like to flip the text facing different directions, and this will be my base layer. I'm also going to take the time to apologize for that glob of glue on my finger. The whole time I was editing this video, I was like, Lynette, wouldn't that be driving you crazy? Why didn't you notice that sooner? It's literally here for most of the video, so I apologize for that. Next, I decided to add some music paper, some vintage music paper to my masterboard. So I'm just tearing it into strips, and I'm just going to randomly place them over the book pages. Okay, so maybe the glue glop wasn't there for most of the video, but before this video was sped up, trust me, it was there a long time. So I took one of the book pages that came in the kit about shells, and I like adding different types of font and text over my collage strips, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking some of those little informative bits about shells and adding it to the masterboard. So I also found this piece of vintage ledger in some of my paper scraps. I have a little folder that I keep close to my desk with any little scraps and pieces that I know I would like to use in collage, and then I can just easily grab them. I found that's really helpful. If instead of throwing little bits away, you know, to save some of those interesting pieces. Not too many, just enough. So I really like the lines on that paper and think they're going to look great in collage, so I'm adding those next. Next, I thought that the doily that came in the kit would be pretty on here, so I decided to cut it in half, and I'm adding it to opposite ends of the masterboard. And I will say, you guys, because of those reasons I mentioned earlier, for the reasons I don't really like using Mod Podge, I wasn't going to go over the whole project with it, but part of me just can't resist. Now, I am going to use watercolor after this, so I thought maybe having that layer of Mod Podge might help the watercolor flow better than the paper would. I didn't want it to really get stuck on the lines of the pieces of paper. And this part is so fun. I don't know what it is, just about smearing glue and Mod Podge over the whole project. There's something very relaxing about it. Alright, so after a very long time letting my board dry and using my heat gun to help it along a little bit, I decided to grab my watercolors. I just want to add some color to the background. I'm using a couple different blues, and I just thought, you know, because they would match my collection pretty well and just kind of help blend everything together, make it all cohesive and make it one. So this lighter blue, I wish I'd have honestly stuck with it. Again, nothing ever turns out perfect for me. But it's still fun. Now this darker blue, this is the one I kind of wish I wouldn't have used. I don't know. It's a personal preference thing, right? But anyway, that's okay. Practice, practice, practice. And crafting is just another opportunity to figure out what you like more than something else, right? So anyway, I'm just kind of saturating the masterboard in the paint just to bring it all together. All right, so I decided that I'm going to cut my masterboard into strips so that I can create some tags with them. The second half of this video, it's like 2 videos in one today, are going to be creating some tags. Now, I will have some leftover pieces, so I usually like to cut that into strips that I would use as tuck spots on my journal pages, and also maybe a couple little like corner tuck spots. So I'm just cutting this into random tag sizes. I will say I'm not excited about the way that I use that watercolor. Like I don't really like the way it runs sideways, but you will see in the end. Just go ahead and use it. Like if you do something that you're not crazy over, you really are going to just continue covering up. This is the background. This is the kind of thing I have to tell myself, you guys, like constantly. So there's a couple that I am going to use as tuck spots, and then I'm going to cut down the size that I want for my journaling tags. All right, so now that I have the coffee dyed paper on the back of my tags, before I do some machine stitching, I'm just going through all of the ephemera that I have on hand here to use in my journal that is nautical themed. For anyone who might be interested in who those sellers are and what their digital kits were, I will leave links to them in the description box down below. I decided that I wanted to mat this picture with that vintage book paper. Number one, I love the coloring of that vintage book page, but it just helped separate the blue of my piece of ephemera from the blue that was on my tag. So it just helped it stand out a little bit more. So now I am going to play around with some cheesecloth. This is it's not the tightly woven cheesecloth, it's a little looser. I forget what they call it, but they make mention of it on the front of the package. And I just like the way that it looks like netting. I'm just kind of trimming it up and taking it over to the sewing machine, and voila. I just think I love that look. I love the way cheesecloth plays so well in the nautical theme. So I'm going to be doing that again here. I'm just adding some cheesecloth. I found that twisting it toward the top of the tag helped give it a little bit more of a layered look. So I'm just cutting off a little piece of cheesecloth here for each of these tags. I kind of want to frame the image that I have on my tag, so I'm going to focus on wrapping that cheesecloth around the bottom since that image is more toward the top of the tag. And the final step will be done when I go over to the sewing machine and I'm sewing it in place. And then this one, because the image is toward the bottom of the tag, I want more of the cheesecloth toward the top, if that makes sense. And then here's another one where the image is toward the bottom, so the bulk of the cheesecloth will wrap over the top just to kind of frame it in a little bit. And I did find that twisting the cheesecloth made it everything look a lot better. All right, you guys, and that is it. I took them over to the sewing machine and stitched everything in place, and I love it. I think they're adorable and they make a great touch to my nautical journals. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you guys missed any of the other videos in this collection, the links for them will be in the description box down below, as well as the design team that will be creating a video with this collection. You don't want to miss what they post as well. Don't forget there is a Facebook group. I would love to have you join us over there. And if you're interested in this kit, there are a few of them left over in the Etsy shop. That link's always down below as well. So thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.